What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our EINTRACHT Frankfurt Champions League preview here on Anfield Agenda. The Reds travel over to Germany for the first of two away games this week. I'll be starting the watch along on Wednesday night from 6:45 p.m. Hope you can join me for it. And of course, again, I want to thank Connor for stepping in and doing the watch along of the Manchester United game. Over the course of this video, I'm going to slightly change things. I'm now going to be saying the 11 that I think he should be putting out rather than the 11 I think Garner will put out. Because if I went with his 11, well, this slump is probably going to carry on. So things need to change, and I'm going to start tonight by trying to predict the 11 that should be on that pitch, in my opinion. We'll give you a score prediction at the end as well, and we'll have a little look at our head-to-head history against EINTRACHT Frankfurt and their form coming into this fixture. With regards to injuries, look, as I'm sitting here now to record this, I don't know the extent of Ryan Gravenberch's ankle injury that he picked up yesterday, so I've erred on the side of caution and left him out of my starting 11. Other than that, it is Alisson Becker who is out, and I think we're pretty much fit on every other front. So that is that one. Now let's get stuck into a bit of a head-to-head with our opponents and of course their recent form, and then we'll get cracking with the starting 11. So as you can see, it was the UEFA Cup first round all the way back in 1973-74, and despite what you might be thinking, I wasn't born then. So it was Frankfurt 0, Liverpool 0, and then Liverpool 2, Frankfurt 0 in the reverse fixture. Frankfurt's recent form coming into this one, it was Freiburg 2, Frankfurt 2. Frankfurt 0, Bayern Munich 3, Atletico Madrid 5, Frankfurt 1. Then it was Borussia Mönchengladbach 4, Frankfurt 6, which is a bit of a crazy game, and Frankfurt 3, Union Berlin 4. So it looks like we're getting Frankfurt at a good time. Now, of course, this is Ugo Ekitike's old stomping ground, so I'm expecting a good performance from him. So that is where we're at with their form coming into it. I don't need to explain our form to you if you want me to give you the highlights of it. It's 4 losses in a row, Arna. 4 losses. Absolutely unacceptable as Liverpool manager. So let's see if we can't go about putting those wrongs right on Wednesday. And we're going to start off now by going through, as I always do, my predicted 11, or the 11 I think should take to the pitch. Now, of course, I do want to know your thoughts, folks, so let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree. Let me know who you would play if you do disagree. If you enjoyed the video, really would appreciate you hitting that like button. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. So let's start off, ladies and gents, as I always do, with the goalkeeper and the 2 centre-backs. No surprises for the goalkeeper, of course, because we know that Alisson is still injured, so it will be Georgi Mamardashvili. And look, Kanate's been shaky this season, but he wasn't too bad against Manchester United, so for me, it's not a case of dropping him because I think he deserves to keep his place, because he was one of our decent performers, in my opinion. Alongside him, our captain, Virgil van Dijk. Well, we have a phrase here in Ireland. I don't know if it translates all the way around the world, but the phrase is, Virgil needs to get his finger out. He needs to just stop being so calm, composed and laid back. It is time to put in a bit of effort now, Virgil. It is time to get vocal, and it is time to start banging a few heads together in that dressing room. Telling people that you're not panicking isn't good enough. You should be, because that team should be ashamed of these last 4 games. It is unacceptable at Liverpool Football Club to lose 4 on the bounce. And if we lose 5, I believe it'll be the first time since 1958. So that is the goalkeeper and the centre-backs. But do let me know your thoughts on the captain, because look, most of Virgil's career he's been imperious. He is our captain, he is our leader at the back, but he ain't leading much at the minute because that back line is an absolute shambles and we are conceding far too easily. So that's the 2 centre-backs and the keeper. Now into the full-back positions. And I've made some changes here. I play Joe Gomez at right back because I don't want to lose Dominic Szoboszlai to that position. Let's be honest, Arna doesn't seem to know who his best right back is. Conor Bradley did not look up to the pace of the game against Manchester United. And Jeremy Frimpong, he seems to be playing him when he's on the right wing more often. So it doesn't really feel like he wants to play him at right back either. So for me in this one, I'd go for Joe Gomez at right back because, like I said, something needs to change. On the other side, I'm stunned he didn't do this against United, but it's got to be time to give Andy Robertson a run. Milos Kerkez, he's enthusiastic, he's full of energy, and he is still settling in, but he looks off the pace, and he looks, quite frankly, lost out there. So many times I'd seen her making overlapping runs, and Gakpo kept cutting inside again, and there was a few times he went around the outside, but Milos just looked off the pace of the game, and he was having awful trouble down that right side. I think it was Diallo who was marking. Just isn't up to the speed of it yet. He's a young defender. He still has lots of learning to do, and I'm certainly not going to go in on him. He's only joined the club, but it feels like this is definitely a game for Andy Robertson for me. So that's my back 5. Moving into midfield now. As I've mentioned, I don't know if Ryan Gravenberch is fit or not, so I've erred on the side of caution and said that he wasn't. So I would go for Curtis Jones and Dominic Szoboszlai with Florian Wirtz ahead. I know Jones comes in for a lot of flack, but I will say this, and I always say this about him. He doesn't hide out there on the pitch. He goes, looks for the ball and wants to make some stuff happen. So I think he deserves to start this game. Dominic Szoboszlai has probably been one of our most consistent performers so far this season, so I would put him in alongside. And Florian Wirtz has to be played. We got to get this guy into the rhythm, and I don't think he's been anywhere near as bad as some are trying to make out. When he came on yesterday, I seen him making a difference, and I really just do rate the guy. I think he will come good, so let's keep playing him, keep him in the pocket, and finally understand how to use him in that number 10 role. In my opinion, he should be right behind the strikers, but that's my midfield. Dominic Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, and Florian Wirtz. Now, folks, we move into the front line where more changes are coming. So I always like to start with the wide positions first. And what you'll notice here is there's no Mohamed Salah, because there should be no Mohamed Salah. And anybody who thinks that Mohamed Salah still deserves to start, I don't know what to say. I love him. We all love him. But we're talking about fairness here, and he hasn't been performing. No non-penalty goals in 7 games. His longest spell, I believe, since he's joined Liverpool. He's just not at it. And we all love him. This isn't an anti-Mo anything. But he hasn't been good enough. And what message does it send if you keep playing a player who just isn't up to it? So Federico Chiesa deserves to start. And Arne best start listening to fans on this one, because he looks like he's just clueless. Looks like he hasn't got a clue what's going on. I still can't believe he pissed off to Dubai for a couple of weeks or whatever while this team is in crisis mode. And it is a crisis. And if he says the word low block one more time, I am going to lose my mind. So for me, Chiesa on the right, and on the left-hand side, Ugo Ekitike. The reason I've gone for Ekitike on the left is because, again, I think he offers us something different. He was a real lively spark when he came into that game. And I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to get Ekitike and Isak in the same team. We looked like we didn't know how to utilise Alexander Isak yet again. So why bring in a player if there's no plan of how to get the ball to him, no plan of where he likes it, no understanding or relationship built yet between him and anyone around him? We really just look like we're playing with 10 men. And it isn't his fault. Nobody's giving him opportunities. The ball isn't getting to where it should be. So that's my wide positions. And then through the centre, of course, I'm going to go for Alexander Isak. Now, I'm not saying Isak's been pulling up any trees either, but like I've said, he's not getting the service. So let's see if we can strike up a relationship. We know Chiesa's got to give 100% out there. We know Ekitike is as well. Like I said, he looked like a bundle of energy when he came on. And Alexander Isak is a 125/130 million pound striker who we've got to get firing. So once again, to run through the team, I would go with Mamardashvili in goal, Gomez at right back, Andy Robertson at left back, centre back pairing of Ibrahim Konate and our captain Virgil van Dijk, a midfield of Dominic Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones and Florian Wirtz, Fede on the left, Hugo Ekitike on the right, and Alexander Isak through the middle. So now just down to the score prediction, and the score prediction I've gone for is 2-2, because it would just be ludicrous of me to be arrogant on here to say we're going to go over there and we're going to battle them, we're going to go over there and we're going to win. We could win, we should win, but who knows at this point, folks? Who knows? I'm hoping that we find the knockout stage of the Champions League the time that we start to hit form, because in the league right now, we've managed to turn a 5-point gap over Arsenal into a 4-point deficit behind Arsenal over the space of a few games. That is absolutely ridiculous, and we got to start putting it right. So we could win it, like I said, but I have to be fair and balanced of what I've seen, and it would just be delusion of me to keep coming on and saying we're going to win, we're going to win, we're going to win. I hope we do, but that's me being honest. So now look, it's over to you guys. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you'll join me for the watch along. We'll be starting from 6:45 p.m. This is an 8 p.m. kickoff. I'll be back to the usual full match day content. Watch along, player ratings video, match reaction. Hope you guys can come along and join me for it, because something has to give here. It cannot stay the way it is. We need to perform better. Appreciate you watching. Much love. Bye-bye.